is that we are marking our own homework, and that's what we want to avoid. If there is a complaint against the executive officer, it seems very odd that in the first place that would go to the executive officer. So the proposal is that it would go to somebody other. Now, to take Councillor Allen's point, if that's the chair of the personnel committee, chair of the personnel committee, absolutely happy about that. But then that there is an independent process that then sees that through. Otherwise, I think we run the risk of being seen to be marking our own homework and it not being independent.
Can I just suggest that the personnel subcommittee actually explain the procedures for staff? People probably don't understand what's happening with HR pits and things.
We do employ an outside organisation called Peninsula. Anything like this, we would take advice from them, and they are an independent organisation. So Nick, as chairman of the personnel working group, probably would discuss with the rest of the personnel working group if there is a case to answer. Obviously, we go to the Peninsula.
And I think that's the nub of the issue there, Councillor Bettison, that if we decide...
You're not talking...
Apologies,
Sorry,
Councillor Mrs Bettison.
Yes, thank you.
That we're not talking about, you said if there is a, you're talking about marking our own homework, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So I'm delighted to hear that there's an independent organisation. That's great news. I think that therefore, again, to go back to the proposal, we need to have a very clear process as to what it is, because at the moment, if there is a complaint raised, we're marking it ourselves, we're going through it ourselves, and there's not that independent process, and that's what we're looking to establish. I'm very happy to amend the proposal that it would go to the chair of the, I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure whether it's a committee or a working group. You use the word working group, Councillor Allen used.
We call it working group, but it is a subcommittee.
It's a subcommittee of strategy and policy.
Okay, so if it wants to go to the chair of the personnel subcommittee, in the first instance, before it then goes, but the substantiation is that it is independently reviewed, that we do not mark our own homework. It has to go externally to an independent person. That is the summary of it. Thank you.
Again, can I just point out, we are crossing over here from two areas, from the complaints into disciplinary procedure, and they're very different. This is just purely the complaints procedure that we're looking at. So to follow the rest of the process would have to be done independently of this. So it would just need to be the initial proposal for the complaints procedure to be amended this evening.
To incorporate the independent element, yes. That's our proposal.
Thank you, Councillor Quick. That wasn't a summary, that we would still continue the debate. I'm going to Councillor Councillor Burton.
I'm still looking for clarification, if I may. I've got the complaints procedure, item 7. If I've heard correctly, should now read, if you do not wish to report your complaint to the executive officer, you may make your complaint directly to the...
No. So, I think it's different. This, number 7 says, if you do not wish to report your complaint to the executive officer, but what Councillor Quigg is asking for is another one which says, if you wish to complain about the executive officer, then it's a new sentence, new paragraph, saying if you wish to complain about the executive officer, then you refer to the chairman of the personnel working group, subcommittee, whatever.
So that's number 11.
That would be another point, yes, a new point.
Okay, so have we in our debate so far required the amendment to 7 because it says complain directly to the Mayor of Sandhurst, who will put it to the strategy and policy?
No.
That's different.
That's different.
This is specifically.
This is specifically.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just
I think we've got the grasp of what's required here. Do we have any more? Anybody? Mr. Whitson, would you put Councillor Whitson?
In many organisations, police, large companies, the deputy chairman, deputy commissioner, is responsible for discipline. do we wish to make it the role of the deputy mayor that the complaint should be passed to, who would then seek advice from the outside body, Peninsula or the borough solicitor, whoever it may be, to make sure that the complaint is dealt with fairly for the complainant and the person they complained against.
Councillor Widdowson, that's the point I just made, that is a separate agenda item that you would need to review later. This is just purely for where the complaint goes in the first instance.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. I'm going to bring this to a close. I would like Councillor Quigg, for the last time again, just to summarise, and if you could give us the wording, please, as well.
Okay, so our proposal is, if your complaint is about the executive officer, you must make your complaint directly, I'm happy to change it to the chair of the personnel subcommittee, in line with Councillor Allen's request, who will report your complaint to the strategy and policy, one and the same person, and who will arrange for it to be independently reviewed.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder?
I'm happy to second.
Thank you, Councillor Forster. I'd like to take a vote on the item. Can I have a show of hands for those of you in favour?
That's a motion, hopefully we're still